This is Ibrox Stadium in Glasgow, the setting on a beautiful spring day for one of the most important Premier League games of the season between the champions Rangers and the league leaders Celtic. A victory for the home side would keep the race for the title open. A win for Celtic would take them a giant step closer to the title and a place in next season's European Cup. Hello, good afternoon and a warm welcome to Scott Sport. Between now and 4 o'clock our programme is all about the last Old Firm game of the season, with live coverage of the whole 90 minutes and by means of our Scottish television helicopter, a behind-the-scenes look at how Rangers and Celtic players prepared this morning for the big game. Our match commentator, Jock Brown, will be joined at the ground by Alec Ferguson, and here in the studio to assess the play before, during and after the game, we have two very well-known guests from the Premier League, Willie Miller of Aberdeen and Sandy Clark of Hearts. They'll be talking to Ian Archer. Well, both Graham Souness and Billy McNeill are well aware that this isn't just another game, and both clubs have tiptoed quietly out of the limelight to prepare for the match, which could well settle the destiny of the championship. Our helicopter has been out and about this morning, and we picked up Rangers preparing down at the beautiful Turnberry Hotel in the heart of Ayrshire. Rangers out of the city to prepare for this one, the coach is ready, and all of a sudden the talking is over and it's time to move. There were rumours at Turnberry this morning that Rangers may have one or two late injury problems and will be going to Ibrox to pick up those details in due course. A comfortable 90-minute drive up the leafy lanes of Ayrshire, heading for Ibrox Stadium and a match which means so much to both clubs. Meanwhile, up ahead on the banks of the River Clyde at the Crest Hotel, Celtic have rounded off their preparations, their talk in. Now it's time for them to get moving to head the few short miles down the road to Ibrox Stadium. If there was any tension, it didn't seem to show among the players. And an opportunity here for our reporter Ian Archer to have a quick pre-match word with the Celtic manager, Billy McNeill.
Billy, a lot of people say if you win this afternoon, you'll go on to take the title. Do you see it that way?
Well, it would be a very significant step, obviously. I mean, Rangers are our nearest challengers. We're aware of the value of a win today. Obviously, we've prepared thoroughly. And it is our intention to go and play some positive football, and hopefully that positive football will be sufficient to get us a result.
What sort of match do you expect in Old Firm terms?
Well, I mean, you're never entirely sure what kind of match you get with Old Firm, but we believe we're a footballing side. We believe our best results have come as a result of some good football, and we'd like to think we'll go to Ibrox today and play good football and obviously get a result there because of that.
Well, off goes Celtic now to head down the road to Ibrox for one of the most important matches of the season for them. Police outriders out in front to smooth their path in towards the stadium, and the bus is on the way.
You'll notice the first winner on any Old Firm day, that's the bus company. I'm joined by Sandy Clark and Willie Miller to have a look forward to this afternoon's match. Sandy, all Old Firm games are crucial, important, vital. This one more than others?
Yeah, I would think so. Obviously this one could work out to be a league decider. And obviously all the games are very close and they're very competitive between both teams because nobody wants to lose because your week's obviously a lot better if you've been on the winning team against either Rangers or Celtic, depending on who you support.
Willie, I would imagine you rather desperately want Rangers to win. Whether you think they will or not is a different matter, but as an Aberdeen player you would want Rangers to win this one.
Yeah, I think if Celtic win it, or perhaps even if they get a draw, then I think the league title's theirs. But if Rangers manage to get the 2 points, it's going to be a cracking end to the season.
Right, well, we want to discuss some of the individuals involved, and what we've done, we've given you 3 forwards to talk about and tell us how you've defended against them and what their strengths are. The first one is Andy Walker, who was the first major signing of Billy McNeill to take over from Brian McClare, and has done well, hasn't he?
He's done very well. He's a young lad, Andy, and I'm sure there's still a lot of good stuff to come from Andy in future years. He's had an in-and-out season, but he's settled in quite well. When he hasn't done the business for Celtic, Matt McGee stepped in and done it for them.
It's an interesting piece of philosophy. I mean, that Billy McNeill spent all his money on forwards, really. Yeah. 1.8 million. Walker and McAvenny and Joe Miller. Now, Joe Miller you know well, don't you?
I know Joe very well, yeah. Excellent player. And again, for the future, he'll be an excellent player for Celtic.
Do you see this as a match between the Rangers defence and the Celtic attack?
No, I don't think so. I think it'll be a game where Rangers have got to go out and have a go at Celtic, actually.
Well, one man who can do that for them is Ali McCoist, who's had a really great season and quite often unsupported as well.
Yeah, Ali's had a tremendous season for Rangers. He's ploughed a lone furrow up the front for Rangers. He's scored plenty of goals, and really you can't speak too highly of him.
In terms of marking him, what do you have to guard against?
He works hard outside the box, but Ali's true gift is inside the box. When he gets a chance in there, usually sticks it away.
Well, we can see him doing just that. He's very brave too, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a cocky character, and nothing gets him down. And he's very, very brave, yeah.
Good. Well, the problem for Rangers, I suppose, is that McCoist will need some support, and that has been coming from Ian Durrant, really, in recent games, either played totally forward or, in his best position, coming from midfield. Where do you think he'll be today?
I think he'll be midfield supporting Ali, and probably Ian Ferguson up front. But when he plays in midfield, he's very difficult to pin down, and without doubt, that's his best position.
Well, we can see in action against you.
Yeah. He always causes us problems playing in the midfield.
Because presumably you don't see him coming.
That's true, yeah. Well, if he loses his markers in midfield, it's very difficult for us at the back.
Right. Good. We'll come to Sandy to talk about some of the defenders who are equally important. I suppose nobody more important than Roy Aitken, because not just is he captain of Scotland, he's a tremendous inspiration, isn't he, to the rest of the Celtic players?
Yeah, without any shadow of a doubt. Roy's really held Celtic together for a long, long time now. He went through sticky spells, and he was the one that kept them going and kept plugging away for them, and he's a great inspiration to the team.
And really holds that defence together, because there's been certain question marks about that defence.
That's
last season, wasn't it?
Well, that's right. They seemed to lose a few goals, and Roy was the one that never gave up. He led by example. And to be fair, he attacks quite well as well. He gets into the other end of the park, and he scored one or two important goals in his time too.
Well, one of the players who's not a defender, but you couldn't really consider this match without him, in fact, is Paul McStay, because he is certainly the class player on the Celtic side.
Needs some help inside. Good running by Burns. Right swinging cross. And how did that stay out from Billy Stark? Stay. Aiken on the right this time. Andy Walker.
You're not going to give too many secrets away, but what do Hearts do when Paul McStay's playing? What's the instructions?
He's obviously very difficult to mark. I think you've got to try to get people close to him to stop him playing. But he's such a good player, and for a relatively young guy, he's such an experienced international player as well now, that he's used to that, and he knows how to cope with that. He'll go and get the ball from the back four and and build up the play, and he also supports his forwards. He always makes himself available.
Well, the most expensive player on the park is Richard Gough, who is said to have cost £1.5 million, which is an awful lot of money in everybody's language, and some people say he hasn't quite settled in with Rangers yet.
Well, I don't feel that's fair criticism, to be honest, because the guys came to Rangers and there's been so much expected of him. And he's had to play right back, centre half, he's played midfield, he's played up front. He's not had a chance to get a bit of consistency and to get to know the one position and the rest of his teammates in relation to that. And I think it's really the fact that the guy scored so many important goals for Rangers in such a short time itself proves how valuable he is.
Right, well, gentlemen, there is no hiding place, I'm afraid. Willie Miller, I'm going to force you to tip a winner.
Well, I'm not going to tip a winner. I think it'll be a draw,
Coward.
actually, and that's not sitting on the fence. I think,
Sounds like it to me.
I think it'll go Celtic's way today, and I think a draw is enough for Celtic today, and I think it'll be a draw.
Sandy?
Well, just for a change, we'll never go to disagree with you. No, I feel that with home advantage and the crowd behind Rangers and how important it is to them, if they can show the spirit that they showed on Wednesday night and play with that determination, then I think Rangers can win today.
Good, gentlemen. Sit back, enjoy the match. We'll talk to you at half-time and full-time. Thanks a lot.
Yes, indeed. I can also tell you that they've got the tickets for the sweep as well. Right, let's go out now to Ibrox and find out just what's happening about the teams. I wonder, Jock Brown, if there's any dramatic team news that you can give us at this stage.
Nothing too dramatic, Arthur. The team has been released from each dressing room, but Graham Souness is warming up there, but he is not in the side from the start. He will be on the bench alongside Stuart Monroe, and there is the Rangers team. There is no real surprise in that lineup, bringing back Jan Bartram and Ian Ferguson and Mark Walters, the men who were ineligible against Steaua Bucharest in midweek. So there's the Celtic captain, Roy Aitken, and no surprise either in the Celtic ranks. Lex Bailey is playing at centre-half with Mick McCarthy suspended, but it looks, Alec Ferguson, as though Celtic have resisted the temptation to play 5 at the back.
Yes, there was a bit of speculation that they would try that. They did that in the earlier Premier League game against Rangers at Celtic Park. But Jock, you know, I've just looked at the Celtic team, and it's quite clear to me they're saying we're coming here to win the league. They're pointing at a team that's really positive. That's what it looks like.
So it's a very positive outlook from Celtic coming to Ibrox for the last Old Firm match. The atmosphere building up. Back with you, Arthur.
Thank you, Jock, and we're going back to Ibrox comfortably in time for the kick-off. Well, as we've said, and you've gathered, there isn't a game in the world in which excitement and passion run quite as high as an Old Firm encounter. Mind you, too often this game has attracted publicity for all the wrong reasons, but that's very much in the past. There are places, however, where this match is still only a game. Hazel Irvine reports.
Millport, on the island of Cumbria, known to its day trippers for its cafes and its ice cream, cut off, it seems, from the mayhem and the madness of the mainland. But even here in quiet ecclesiastical corners, the game of football has a strong calling. And there's one man who's already thinking about today's big game. He's Father Collins, the local parish priest, a football fan of many seasons. But all is not as you would expect. For there's no religious divide in Millport when it comes to football, and Father Collins is actually a Rangers supporter. Yes, he's a Rangers fan. How? Why, you might cry?
It so happened that I've been in Govan so much, Ibrox is the nearest part to go there. And I suppose that's how it happened. Rangers were very kind to me.
And as he heads for the seafront, other fair-minded fans are about to set off for Ibrox in the same bus.
This is a Rangers supporter holding a Celtic flag. You're all travelling in the same bus. There's never any aggro, is there?
No. Not yet. Only the way back.
Is there ever any aggro on the way back, fellas?
No, not really. No.
And how long has this been going on in Millport?
For a few years now.
What do you think of Father Collins, who's obviously the priest here, but he's a Rangers supporter? How do the Celtic supporters feel about it?
Good to have him excommunicated.
I think the best thing we do actually here is a very, very fine thing. They actually have a St Patrick's night in the lodge. And that'll answer the question completely.
And everyone's happy about that, yeah?
Oh, yes.
So, lads, who's going to win the match today, Celtic or Rangers?
So there they go. But because the big game is being played on a Sunday, Father Collins isn't going to Ibrox. It's business as usual for him. But he still goes when he can, and he does have fond memories of his days on the Rangers terracing.
When I was nursing, I used to get tickets for the big games from the players who came up for X-ray to the Victoria Infirmary where I was a staff nurse. Then when I went to the Southern General as a hospital chaplain, in Ward 14 one time, this poor man, who was a very keen Rangers supporter, and the nurses seemed to be frightened that they might object to the priest coming. And I said, oh, hello, Mr. whatever his name was. I'm chairman of the Catholic Rangers Supporters Club. When he said, heavens, you'll be able to hold your meetings in a telephone kiosk. However, he said that deserves a medal, and we talked about football and about Rangers, and he did send me a little medal which says Rangers Football Club.
Can you tell us about the time that you did go to Ibrox with the dog collar on? What was that like?
It was a bit scary in a way because everybody was wondering why I should be sitting in this exalted position with Rangers supporters who obviously came there every week. But it was very acceptable, and I find it very easy to talk about football. The only thing I resent is that bitterness in any, or bigotry is so terrible. I would do all I could to get rid of it.
So what about reaction from Celtic fans? Have you had any backlash, as it were, from them?
They don't believe it, I don't think.
Why do you think that's?
I don't know, they're so astounded, it's so extraordinary, and whatever. It doesn't, I think there's something wrong with it.
But overall, you'll still remain a Rangers fan then?
I'll still give them my support whenever I can. And certainly the Rangers fans on this island have been so kind to me. I couldn't do anything less.
Do you have a message, Father Collins, for Rangers and Celtic supporters as they go to the big game today?
Yes. Support your team and wear your colours, but cheer your own team on. Forget about criticising the other team. Above all, don't bring religion into it. It's neither necessary nor welcome.
So as the lads head off, win, lose or draw, on the way back, they'll all be in the same boat.
Well, there we are. The Millport fans from both Rangers and Celtic are inside the stadium. You can see that the pre-match excitement is building up very nicely indeed. We've already had the teams. We'll be going back to Ibrox Stadium shortly. We'll perhaps be getting a final word from our studio guest. But meantime, we take a break. Rejoin us for Rangers Celtic Live in a couple of minutes from now. Hello again, and a warm welcome back to Scott Sport Old Firm Special. Any moment now the team should be coming down the tunnel at Ibrox, but there's just time, I think, for Ian and our guest to take a quick look at the team lineups. Ian.
Thank you, Arthur. Willie, you've seen the Rangers lineup there. They're certainly going to have plenty of people in the middle of the park, aren't they?
Well, yeah, but I think it's a team that's going to have a real go. I think they're playing Ferguson up front, and they'll be looking for Durant to support both Ferguson and McCoist. And with Walters going down the wing, then I feel as though it's a real positive team from Rangers.
There it is. Of course, their problem has been getting a settled team with suspensions and eligibility and things like that, but that's near enough to the top Rangers side, you'd have thought.
Yeah, just about, yeah. Everybody's available and everybody's fit. So it's a good-looking Rangers team. It's well balanced and it's as good as they've had on the park for a wee while.
Who do you think, we were talking about McStay earlier on, who do you think will be looking after him?
McStay in midfield? I don't think anybody will have the job of marking McStay. I think it'll be an open game probably. If Derek Ferguson can get close to him, then that's what Rangers will be hoping for. But I think it'll be an open game, and in midfield, they aren't what you would call defensive midfield players in any of the two teams in midfield.
Sandy, Celtic now. Alec Ferguson said there earlier on, they look as if they've come to win the title, but that really is just the Celtic side, isn't it, with McCarthy out?
That's right. That's the the more or less the strongest team. Celtic are going to play a 4-3-3 as will Rangers. But the thing that gets me, I think, Celtic have got Tommy Burns and Billy Stack in the midfield against Derek Ferguson and Durant, and it's really the young against the old. And to me, if Ferguson and Durant have matured into really good players, and if they play to form today, I believe they could cause Stark and Burns a lot of problems.
What about young Lex Bailey, inexperienced? Can you recall your sort of first Old Firm games? Was it difficult?
It's I don't think difficult. It's a great game to play, and it's an unbelievable atmosphere which you'll never really experience anywhere else. I think Lex Bailey played in one, and he had a great start. I think they won 2-0 at the New Year game. But it's a big game for him today. Himself and Roy Aitken have got to try and handle Ian Ferguson and Alan McCoist. And the way Alan McCoist is playing just now, he looks as if he could score virtually every game he plays in. So it's a big game for him, and it'll be interesting to see how that one works out.
What about the two goalkeepers? Chris Woods has had a sensational season, really. Yeah,
he's played excellent. As you say, he's had a tremendous season. In midweek there, he brought off some saves that were out of this world. But in saying that, Pat Bonner's no mug either. Very good goalkeeper. And Celtic's record this season in the goals against column have been excellent. In fact, they've got the best defensive record so far this season. And that used to be a weak point in their team, but they've now seemed to have sorted it out. And with 20 goals against, Pat Bonner's doing his stuff.
Tell me, Sandy, what will the players be doing at this precise moment, these last nervous minutes before they can get out onto the park?
Yeah, I think at this time of the game they'll be going round each other and saying, "Come on, let's make sure we don't lose, and we give it our best shot and try to win." I think that's probably more important for Rangers today, because it's a wee bit more vital to them. They have really got to win to stay in the league championship. Whereas Celtic, I'm sure that both managers will be trying to get them relaxed and trying to get them to play their normal game and not to get caught in the atmosphere too much.
One interesting thing actually about Ibrox, Willie, which the fans probably don't realise, there's a very big area under the stands for warming up, isn't there, that you can actually get rid of some of your tensions in there.
We used to use that a lot. They didn't particularly like you going on the field of play, but now they allow you to go on the field of play, and most of us usually go out and kick about outside and just take in the atmosphere. I've never felt the atmosphere at an Old Firm game, but playing against Rangers when there's 40,000 there for Aberdeen, certainly a special sort of atmosphere.
Has the new Ibrox, was the fans a lot closer than they were in the old? You were old enough to have played in when it was the big Ibrox.
I think I just played one or two games. The atmosphere's the atmosphere's tremendous. It was good in the old stadium, but I think it's better in the new stadium.
There they are, the fans. Does the toss make any difference, Sandy?
No, I don't
Kick
think
towards
so.
your own people or away from your own people?
At the end of the day, the supporters of their own game today, they try to outshout and outsing each other, and it's just an incredible noise that you're hearing, this cauldron that you're in. And for the first 10-15 minutes you won't hear the referee's whistle and you won't be able to shout to a guy 10 yards away from you. But that it settles down, and I think the team that settles quickest are the team that normally dominate for the initial part of the game. And if they can get in front then, it's always hard to peg back.
Well, as serving footballers and under contract and conscious of the SFA, you might find this next question a wee bit difficult, but what particular pressures does a match like this have on the referee? Do you think it is differently refereed from other Premier League games?
Well, I think he's got to be really strong in the first 10 minutes. And I think if he sets you stall in the first 10 minutes, clamps down, lets everybody know who's in charge, then he'll have no problem.
Sandy, the referee's Bob Valentine, by the way.
Well, I don't think they could get a better referee, to be honest. Bob's an experienced campaigner, and he's handled this type of game many times in the past. And as all I said, he's got to get his authority stamped in the game early on. And the players, they get caught up in the atmosphere as well. And, a wee word here and there keeps them right. It takes an experienced referee to handle the game properly. And if you've got somebody who does that, then there's never really a lot of aggro in the game at all. No any more than any other game.
Right. So we can count the seconds away, because by my watch I think there's less than 5 minutes to go before kick-off. The team should be coming out, Arthur.
Yes, indeed. Any moment now the teams will be appearing, and we will be hearing from Sandy Clark and Willie Miller at half-time as we take a look back on the first half highlights. Right now, though, time to get final words from Jock Brown and Alec Ferguson at Ibrox Stadium.
Thank you, Arthur. Well, the stadium is now virtually filled to capacity. The crowd's coming in rather late for the match, but they're all here now, and you can hear tremendous noise coming from all around. The Celtic fans congregated at the Broomloan Road stand, a sea of green and white over there. The rest of the stadium principally decked in red, white and blue. So the Rangers team already been announced. They're just coming out now, as you can hear. There's the lineup, bringing in Bartram, bringing in Ian Ferguson and Mark Walters from their European side. And both sides coming out together, an innovation to indicate a degree of peace within the stadium as both sides come out to salute the fans and break to their respective ends. So the Rangers team going to the Copland Road end to their own supporters, and there's the Rangers lineup, the confirmation of the setup, and the back four looks to be Roberts and Goff in the middle, with Nisbet and Bartram on the left, and the front two, McCoist and Ian Ferguson. Ian Ferguson, the Rangers striker, making his first appearance at the Old Firm game. A big occasion for him, Alec.
Yes, it's a big day for him, and he'll be wanting to do something very good early in the match to settle himself down. Just looking at him, it's a perfect example actually to a lot of young players, because You maybe not know, Jock, but I released the boy at Aberdeen. I thought he was a bit small and wasn't going to grow. Just look at him now. But I'm very proud for him.
So Ian Ferguson holding the Celtic to the Rangers fans. There's the Celtic side now. And that's a team, I think, Alec, which you think is designed to indicate they're out to win the match. They're not playing 5 at the back, it would appear.
Yes, well, I heard Willie talking about this is the only team they can play. But they could have played Anton Rogan and settled for a 5 at the back. But no, they're coming to Ibrox Park with a clear indication to me that they're out to try and win the league today.
So young Lex Bailey has played 7 first-team matches from the start. He's been substitute 3 times. He was a hero in the Old Firm match at the New Year, but this is a very important game indeed for the young centre-half. And a very important man, of course, this afternoon, Mr. Bob Ballantyne from Dundee, regarded throughout the country as one of our best referees, and indeed he has a very high reputation all over the world.
Yeah, I think it's an important day for Bob, but he's the best man for the job, quite simple that. For a long time it was Bob Ballantyne, Brian McGinley. I think Bob Ballantyne was the best referee in your country, and he therefore should have the most important game.
Well, Kenneth Stewart was the mascot, departing there, getting the coin from Bob Ballantyne. A big day for the young boy from Clarkston. So the tossing of the coin has been completed. It'll be Celtic to kick off. Mark Walters, a man on whom Rangers are depending a great deal this afternoon. Listen to the build-up of noise, a crescendo now as the sides line up at the start of the match. It'll be Celtic to kick off, and they're playing towards the Copeland Road end to the right. McAvenny and Walker the front 2.
Jock, I just noticed right at the start that Joe Miller is lining up on the left-hand side for Celtic, which then will keep Tommy Burns in field with Paul Mistay, and Billy Stark will give him the width on the right-hand side.
So the tactical battle on the early stages will be crucial. The match is underway. There's Tommy Burns. Derek White slotting back to a left-back position. And the first foul of the game has been given Celtic's way by the referee. The first touch for Bailey, and this is Morris. Bailey been given a lot of time to send the ball upfield. Joe Miller coming from the left flank. Goff's header. And here's Derek Ferguson. There's Ali McCoy's judging the bounce well. Ferguson picks it up, and here's Bartram in his first Old Firm match. The header from Aiken. Graham Roberts at the back for Rangers. Aiken is marking McCoist for the moment. Wilkins playing it forward. The flag is up on the far side. That race between Walters and Morris meaning nothing. The whistle had already gone, but the noise is such within the stadium the players didn't appear to hear that. So the free kick has been given to Celtic. Dwight Aiken will take it. So the principal objective, Alec, I think early on will be to get both sides settled down.
Yes, I think obviously an important game for this. Both sides will want to make sure they don't do anything silly in the early part of the match, and also to try and get their foot in the ball and get the confidence of playing.
So Celtic using Joe Miller on the left flank in the early stages directly against Scott Nisbet. A little flash of temper there from Nisbet when he was caught by Joe Miller. Referee Bob Ballantyne just ran towards the Rangers fullback and had a quiet word in the ear in the passing. Comes off Bailey's head, collected by Morris. So Celtic with the edge in Old Firm matches this season, with 2 wins and a draw here at Ibrox back on the 17th of October. Nodded down by Goff. Wilkins helps it to Bartram. Lots of movement up front from Rangers. Derek Ferguson has gone forward. Comes off the referee, picked up by Stark and then McStay. Aiken switching it to the left. There's Tommy Burns playing in a deep role on the left side of the Celtic midfield. The Burns fighting hard with Ian Ferguson. The play continues with Morris in possession. And there's Roberts. Bartram now to Durant. Durant going on one of those runs forward which so frequently cause trouble for defences. Good tackle by Stark. McStay makes room for himself brilliantly. And Walker is caught offside. Graham Roberts in a hurry to get the free kick taken. Rangers certainly are the side who have to chase the match. They need a victory to retain any realistic hopes of the championship. So there's Aiken's header, helped on by McStay. Ferguson now to Bartram. Aiken going in on McCoist again. Walker touching it on, but Gough is the covering player for Frank McAvenny. And there are signs that McCoist is being joined more by Durant than Ferguson up front.
Yeah, well, I said to you, Jock, I couldn't understand all the speculation about Ian Ferguson playing up front. The boy used to be playing as a midfield player in such an important game, in his debut in an Old Firm match. I think he had to play midfield.
Here's McStay for Celtic. He has Walker on the right. Still McStay going all the way himself. Some hopeful appeals from the Celtic fans for a penalty. It's a free kick though as Morris goes down in the tackle with Walters. Tremendous surging play though from Paul McStay, designed to commit the Rangers defence. Free kick now will be taken by Chris Morris. Lex Bailey has joined the attack. And Billy Stark appeared to be held by the jersey by Scott Nisbet. The referee didn't spot that. Roy Aiken is protesting to the referee, but I reckon Rangers were very fortunate here as this ball comes in from Morris. Stark making a run. Well, it's not obvious from that replay, but it seemed to me as though Nisbet was doing some jersey pulling.
Oh, yeah, Joe, I think there was a little bit of that. If a penalty had been given, it may have been a bit harsh, but nonetheless, there was a bit of shoving and pushing.
So here's Bartram in space for Rangers. Good play by Walker. This is Joe Miller taking on Gough. Still Miller trying to go to the byline himself. That's cut off well by Bartram, and Woods calls for the ball for the 6-yard box. Good play by the Danish fullback.
It's a good start to the game for Celtic, Jock. They've got into Rangers' box on 2 occasions and looked dangerous both occasions, both times.
Walters and Morris together. The throw goes to Celtic. So Chris Morris calming things down after that impressive opening by Celtic. Here's Durant. Now Ferguson looking for McCoist. Ferguson wins it. Here's Ian Ferguson again, settling well for Rangers with Nisbet free on the right. Derek White controlling the pass beautifully to Tommy Barnes. Good running by McStay. He's away from Richard Gough. That's towards Walker, wrestling there with Bartram. The free kick's been given to Celtic. Howls of anguish from the Rangers fans and from the Rangers players. Jan Bartram going to complain. So too did Graham Roberts. Well, I'm not sure whether that's English or Danish.
Whatever it is, I think the referee understood all right.
So Woods organising the wall. 5 men there for Rangers, leaving only Durant up front. So 25 yards out. McStay controlling it with Burns and Aiken waiting. Well, certainly appears to come from the training ground. Now played in by Aiken without too much conviction. Didn't catch that the way he wanted. That's rather a wasted opportunity for Celtic.
Another important factor as we're talking about Celtic's system, you may have noticed that the lad Derek White is staying very close to the centre of the park, which is almost White playing a 5.
This is Derek Ferguson now for Rangers, linking with Walters. Bailey goes to meet him. It's thumped away by Aiken. Joe Miller chasing Nisbet. He's very quick indeed, Joe Miller. And Nisbet taking the safety first policy, playing it back to Woods. Bartram has found space. His first touch wasn't too convincing, forcing him to go back. He gets a word of encouragement from Graham Roberts. Good leap by Bailey. Here's Burns. Taking no chances with Ian Ferguson closing him down from behind. So it looks as though Celtic have formed a view that Rangers seldom use an out-and-out attacker on the right flank. That's why Tommy Burns is playing there, deep in midfield on the left. There's Walters with a header. Durant stumbled. McStay wins it for Celtic. Here's Burns. Now White. Well, he appeared to be caught in two minds as he came forward. In the end, gave the throw to Rangers. So the throw this time goes to Celtic. And these hectic opening exchanges appear to have calmed a little. There's Nisbet's header. Miller tackled fiercely by Durant. This is McCoist. Missed out Durant with a pass. Stark finds Barnes. There's Richard Gough. Too far ahead of McCoist.
Well, Jock, it's got the start that you would expect of a game so important, that all players are committing themselves. It's a bit frenzied at the moment, but I think the game will settle down in another 10 minutes.
McCoy is trying to make headway on the Rangers' right, supported by Nisbet. Well, that was intended for Ian Ferguson, who started a run from midfield, but checked out just as the pass was delivered. So Ian Ferguson is operating on the right side of the Rangers' midfield, with Durant, the twin striker, with Ali McCoist. McAvenny laying it back to McStay. Bartram hooking it forward, but Aiken is there for Celtic. Drawing McCoist and then releasing the pass to Derek White. Good play by Ferguson. The chances on now for Rangers. Derek Ferguson free on the right. Durant and McCoist waiting in the middle. There's Walters. That's a corner kick to Rangers. And a desperate error here by Derek White, allowing Derek Ferguson to break on the right, playing the ball square across the box for Walters, who was under pressure all the way from Morris. And now, in fact, the referee has changed that to an offside decision, I think. It's a free kick to Celtic on their own 6-yard line.
Well, that's a very important lesson for young Derek White. Last defender taking a chance with an opponent so close to him, and it really could have been curtains for the Celtic there.
So Derek White breathes a sigh of relief. Bonner takes the free kick. Looked as though Durant had gone into an offside position as the ball was squared to Walters. There's McCoist, tackled by White. Stay to Stark. Now Morris. McAvenny putting pressure on Bartram. Bartram using his strength. He was fouled though. It's a free kick to Rangers, taken quickly by Bartram. Bit of illegal use of the left arm by Frank McAvenny. The offside flag is up. It was not McAvenny. I think it was Andy Walker who was slow coming back.
Jock, it's quite clear that Celtic's tactics are to play the three to the back. They've Derek White on the left-hand side of Roy Aitken and Lex Bill on the right-hand side. Tommy Burns is occupying the left-back area, well, a little bit forward, and of course Joe Miller is a wide player, so it protects the space further on the wide side. That's all for the purists in the studio.
Well, I'm sure the purists in the studio will appreciate that. Little tactical bit of information from Alec Ferguson. Well, Scott Nisbet up on that run with no prospect of reaching Ray Wilkins' pass. Andy Walker anxious to get the ball on the deck, I think, and become involved in some slick Celtic build-ups. Up goes Wilkins. Derek Ferguson doing well again. Played on by Durant. There's Aiken. McCoist. Closed down all the way by Derek White. Rangers hoping for a corner kick for a deflection. But Derek Ferguson, the mainstay once again. Ian Durant doing well with a run, trying to get it back to Walters. There was McCoist on the turn. And it's a goal kick to Celtic. Important play again, I like, from Derek Ferguson.
Yes, well, Celtic started the game very brightly. The thrust at Rangers' penalty box. It's now Rangers' chance. And it's going to be a really open game. I think that point was made with the lads earlier in the studio. And it's pointing that way, it's going to be a marvellous game for everyone.
There's Derek White's header. Ferguson being pushed by McAvenny. Free kick's been given, McAvenny was held. Rangers fans think that the first foul was by McAvenny. So they appear to be doing a little bit of barging as the ball was in the air, but it's Roy Aiken who'll take the free kick. Lex Bailey takes it short. Good pass, finds Walker. Tackle was by Wilkins from the back. He caught Andy Walker. It's a free kick to Celtic. Well, Wilkins showing typical sportsmanship as he helps Walker to his feet and accepts that word of warning from the referee. But a very promising position for Celtic to exploit, with Chris Morris taking the free kick. Lex Bailey with Billy Stark moving around in the box. The header came from McAvenny. It wasn't far away, but there was no real cover there for McAvenny. There's Chris Morris with the free kick. McAvenny coming in, Bailey was behind him. And Richard Gough was beaten to that high ball by McAvenny.
Yeah, Joe, I thought it was a really good piece of movement from McAvenny. Drifted off Graham Roberts. Unluckily, just a little bit big from the cross, but good effort.
Tommy Burns gets his head to the ball, has to concede a throw to Rangers. Quarter of an hour of the match gone, still no scoring here at Ibrox. But a very encouraging opening quarter of an hour in terms of football entertainment. Good pass inside, finds Wilkins. Ferguson going up well. Ian Ferguson gets up very well indeed inside the box to nod that on. Here's Morris. Now Andy Walker. Good turn, good control from Walker. He has Miller free over on the far side. Miller being shown inside by Nisbet, but Miller beats him on the outside. Checks onto his stronger foot, the right for the cross though. He's well tackled by Ian Ferguson. Wilkins couldn't control it. There's Bailey picking out Tommy Barnes with an accurate pass. And McAvenny. And Chris Woods very swiftly off his line. But Joe Miller there in a very good position wide in the left, didn't appear to be keen to try to deliver the cross with the left foot. So down goes Joe Miller. The offender was Scott Nisbet. The young Rangers fullback certainly letting Joe Miller know he's around. Nisbet just turned 20 years old.
Joe, the game's gone about 20 minutes now. You know, there's not a negative bit of play out from either side. I think it's a great demonstration of what's good in the game.
And that is a free kick to Rangers. An offside flag was up.
Although I would exclude that bit.
Always happens that way. Make the point and you're proved wrong immediately. But the free kick will eventually be taken by Richard Gough. Well, certainly doesn't appear to be very far away from where he wanted to take it the first time. Up goes Bailey with that commanding header. Roberts. Bailey got the interception, but he didn't play it into touch. Here's Walters. The layoff from McCoy to Ferguson. And look how quickly he was closed down by Derek White. Rangers looking for a corner kick. They're sure that White deflected the ball. Derek Ferguson in particular. So Rangers feeling thoroughly aggrieved by that decision from referee Valentine. There's no question that Derek White got to his man very quickly indeed after that good little build-up. Walters coming inside, playing it into the box. McCoist with the instant layoff. Ferguson then going for the shot as the ball was on the bounce, with White going in. Certainly looked as though that caught Derek White. Good play by Bartram. McStay doing well getting back and resisting a temptation to use Pat Bonner, with McCoist cutting off the road to the keeper. Good defensive play by McStay, and Bartram prevented from using his tremendous pace on the left. McAvenny turning Roberts as the ball was in mid-air. That's a free kick to Rangers. Roberts leaves it to the left foot of Jan Bartram. Gough has gone up with the attack. Bailey won it well from Durant, but this is Wilkins. Walters towards Bartram. Fine tackle by Stark. A misunderstanding though with Paul McStay, allowing possession to Mark Walters. Aiken trying to ensure he doesn't reach the byline, and indeed good play by Roy Aiken. It's a throw in to Celtic. But Aiken drawing on his experience as he faced a flying Rangers winger.
It was a good play by Big Roy, but it's also a lovely bit of footwork from the boy Walters. He's got all these little tricks, what they call ollie pops, whatever, but really good play.
There's McAvenny trying to force his way up the flank. Walker losing out to Derek Ferguson, and Gough will turn it back to Woods. Burns and Ian Ferguson together, they have been so frequently in the match so far. Good play from Derek Ferguson, and from Joe Miller on the recovery. Here's Nisbet. So three members of the Scottish under-21 squad involved there: Miller, Nisbet and Derek Ferguson. And the result is a throw to Celtic. Back from McAvenny to Barnes, and Miller turned at Nisbet illegally as the ball came to him. So the jersey pulled by Nisbet came after the first foul by Joe Miller. Free kick to Rangers. White going to meet the ball as McCoist waited. McCoist pulls it back. There's Walters, tackled well by Aiken. This is Paul McStay taking the ball to safety for Celtic. Another fine piece of defending though by the Celtic captain. There's Billy Stark with a header. Now Nisbet. Fight going up with Walters. McStay and Derek Ferguson together. It breaks for Rangers. Here's Ali McCoist. Now Wilkins playing it wide for Durant. And a lot of credit there due to young Legs Billy for the way in which he closed down rapidly on Ray Wilkins. But this is good play from Rangers on the build-up. McCoy's doing well, shaking himself free, laying that by. Now look at Billy going towards Wilkins, forcing him to try to find Durant with a pass.
Yeah, young Durant just got his feet caught there, joking. Wee bit unfortunate.
Good lead by Gough. Billy returns it. Gough doing well in the air against McAvenny. Here's Roberts, he has to be careful, and showing a fine understanding with his goalkeeper Chris Woods. Walker wins it from Bartram. Careless one that from Walker. Bartram retrieves it for Rangers. Walters goes away from Stark. That's for Durant to chase. The covering player is Roy Aiken. And there's a free kick to Rangers and a warning for Aiken. Well, he's showing that look of innocence as he's called towards the referee. So some positive play again, this time from Ian Durant. And Aiken just out of reach, catching the Rangers number 10. So free kick all right to Rangers. And Aiken has had a little lecture from referee Valentine. Can't for any further indiscretions. There's McCoist. Good interception by White. Here's Walker now to McAvenny. His first chance to run at the Rangers defence, playing it into the path of Walker. Woods taking no chances.
A marvellous ebb and flow to the game, Jock, isn't it?
Never a dull moment so far.
Oh my goodness me, it's a pleasure to come up here and see this, you know.
So here's Chris Morris now with a throw for Celtic. McAvenny's ahead on the right. Morris gets movement from McStay. Durant getting back for Rangers. Roberts plays it forward. The only man up there was McCoist for Rangers. McAvenny is onside if he can retrieve that. Well, he was certainly willing enough, managing a smile as he retrieves it for Chris Woods.
All his pals are over on that end, aren't they?
So Frank McAvenny obviously enjoying the occasion to the full. Scored both goals in the New Year's match against Rangers. There's Burns with a header, but he was doing a bit of pushing on Ian Ferguson. So free kick to Rangers on the halfway line. Richard Gough has sprinted forward to join the Ranger attack. He's the target for Roberts. Going up there with Bailey. It's back with Bartram. McAvenny wins it for Celtic, but he's hustled out of it by Durant. Derek Ferguson doing well under intense pressure from McStay. He was fouled by McStay. But Derek Ferguson again causing problems. The free kick will require to be taken again, but Derek Ferguson's quickness of feet is remarkable, Alec.
I was just going to say that at the moment he's probably the outstanding midfield player in the park, and now he's vying with McStay for that, but I think he's a bit on top here. He's got good control, and as you say, he's got good feet.
Wilkins with a short free kick, wide to Walters. Chris Morris goes to meet him, forcing Walters inside. Good play from McStay. He only has Walker up for the moment, but Miller's arriving on the left. Picked out by McStay, but the pass hit much too firmly. Paul McStay showing remarkable vision to pick up that run from Joe Miller, but the pass not executed the way he wanted. There's Ferguson to Wilkins. Back it goes to Bartram for Rangers. Stark couldn't control it. Good ball from Wilkins. Burns with a tackle on Ferguson. Celtic in possession with Billy Stark. Through the middle is McAvenny, being allowed to turn and find Miller on the left. And Miller was well challenged by Nisbet. Ian Ferguson back to help also. And Derek White taking no chances, thumping the ball away from Nisbet for a Rangers throw. Here's McCoist into the path of Durant, but Bailey read that well for Celtic. It's now with Walker. Handball against Andy Walker. Appeared to bounce awkwardly to him. He used the upper part of his right arm. No complaint from the Celtic striker. And Rangers have the free kick. Header by Barnes. Here's McStay. Walker teeing it up for McAvenny. Here's Miller, well tackled again by Nisbet. So approaching the half-hour mark, still no scoring, but some excellent football on view. Here's Joe Miller, having a rare old tussle with Nisbet, and not getting much change out of the Rangers fullback. Andy Walker was cutting off the pass back there. He's offside now as the ball comes through. The referee is acknowledging the linesman's flag, but allowing Woods to continue in possession.
You know, the lad that full back for Rangers, the boy Bartram, you've got to remember it's his first Old Firm game too. And although he's got a bit of experience, at the moment he's finding it a little bit difficult to get his game going, Jock.
A brave header by Bailey, returned by Nisbet. It goes Stark. It's back with White. So Richard Gough with lots of time in the right back spot for the moment for Rangers. White going up under pressure from Durrant. There's Morris to start. Good play from Celtic. Bailey breaking on the right. Looking for a run forward on the right. McAvenny arrives rather late. And Roberts tidies up for Rangers. So here's Ian Ferguson. The tackle came from Stark. McStay picked it up. Here's Chris Morris. McAvenny is ahead of him. Joe Miller is now on the right. Here's Miller on his more natural side. Closed down brilliantly by Roberts. So the throw taken by Miller. Here's Chris Morris, a good position for Celtic. Turned away by Roberts, but that was a fine opening there created by Chris Morris. And the cross, I'm sure, not up to the standard he wanted. There's Mark McGee warming up on the track for Celtic. And I think more the bearer of tactical information to his teammates. So Bailey waits in the box. Derek White has also come up. Right to the far side, up goes Bailey with Gough. It's kept in play by Andy Walker. It's back with Burns on his right foot though, not quite so keen to have a try for goal from that position. Here's Joe Miller. McStay shows himself deep. Gough going up with Ali McCoist. Wilkins to Ferguson. Here's Gough. Walters leaves that, and Joe Miller has a chance to run at Bartram. That's a good effort from Miller. It appeared to swerve in flight. It was well taken by Chris Woods. But almost a giveaway though from the Rangers defence. Joe Miller exploiting that coming forward, and it's well saved in the end by Woods.
I think, Jock, that there is a bit of uncertainty in the left back area for Rangers, and they'll be hoping that the lad Bartram settles down very quickly, because I see that Joe Miller is now going to cross to that side, maybe to exploit it.
So a torrid Old Firm baptism for Jan Bartram. Bailey plays it across the back four to White. Here's Walker. Trying the first time layoff. I don't think that's quite where he intended to put it. Well, that is a Rangers throw. The clearance from Nisbet coming off Billy Stark.
Just watching Billy Stark in that run he made forward, which I've got so used to over the years, Jock. I've never known a player who can do that. Run from the middle of the park, round the face of things so well.
That's beyond Burns, well controlled by Durrant on the run. Good piece of defending though by White. Nisbet doing well to create some space for himself. Richard Gough, I think, may take that all the way back to Woods. Burns doing well with Ian Ferguson. There's Nisbet. Coming off Burns for the Rangers throw. Nisbet playing with lots of urge in the right back spot for Rangers. Here's McCoist. Ferguson was offside. So a free kick to Celtic at the corner of their own box. It's back already with Pat Bonner. Here's Aiken. Protecting his two young centre-backs, Lex Bailey, 21 years old. Derek White, 19. There's Bartram. Bailey going in heavily behind Ali McCoist. Free kick to Rangers. So there's the Rangers dugout. Graham Souness substitute this afternoon. Walter Smith also with some instructions. Played in by Wilkins. Gough going up with Bailey, who wins it for Celtic. Here's Durrant. Blocked by Burns, but at the expense A corner kick to Rangers. So there's the Celtic bench. Billy McNeill in the corner, allowing that short corner be taken in the Celtic defence. Here's Ian Ferguson. And Celtic were undoubtedly caught napping at the corner kick. What a chance for Ferguson. The corner kick was taken short with no covering Celtic players. This cross coming in. Roy Aitken couldn't reach it as he backpedaled furiously. It's well controlled here by Ian Ferguson, but the shot is off target.
I thought the boys should have done better. They had a clear chance to strike the goal at least there, Jock. And it just maybe shows the nervousness in his first game in an Old Firm match.
So Celtic now trying to hit back. Careless one from McAvinnie, allowing Bartram to intercept. Here's Wilkins. Good control under pressure from McStay. Good running again by Ferguson, breaking off to the right. The early ball inside, and there's Roy Aitken taking the ball away, choosing not to use Bonner. Here's Durant now going into the box. The clearance by White, and some uncertain defending once again by Celtic. And Roy Aitken, the captain, appeared to be caught in two minds about whether to use his goalkeeper or clear it himself. So anxious moments these for Billy McNeill in the Celtic dugout. There's Durant, obstructed by White. That's a free kick to Rangers. The Rangers now enjoying a good spell of pressure.
Yeah, well, it all stemmed really from Big Roy taking a chance in his own penalty box area, and Roy should know better than that.
So the free kick will be taken by Ray Wilkins for Rangers. Billy going up to head the ball on towards safety. Here's Durant retrieving it. Bartram. Aitken going up with McCoist. McCoist has possession for Rangers, and there's no one waiting at the far post area. Roy Aitken having a little bit of a discussion, heated fashion, with Pat Bonner. So Ian Ferguson goes back, and these two Celtic subs may well be seen before very long, because Celtic for the moment going through a very dodgy patch.
Yes, well, they had a wee spell just for about 10 minutes there, and I was ready to say they seem to be taking a bit of control, but now it's going to the other end, and I think that's the way this game's going to go. There's such an open play about the both sides that I think we're going to have to, it's going to be that way, this type of match.
But still no goals with 10 minutes left in the first half, as Walters goes back, but that just finds Andy Walker for Celtic. Crowded around by three Rangers players. Durant has gone back to defend.
It's just a point, Jock, that Rangers have changed Ian Durant to the right-hand side of midfield in place of Ian Ferguson. And it's maybe just a thing that the lads find a wee bit difficult in a very, very important match for this, with the pace so frenetic that they've now decided to play the lad up front.
So that's Ian Ferguson with Ali McCoist in attack. Durant back into midfield, and handball there against Ian Ferguson. Linesman on the far side, and the referee of one mind, Jack Box from Galston, is the far side linesman. Played forward by Morris. The ball swerved out, so the throw can be taken a bit further on, I think. The referee indicating that Bartram can come forward some 7 or 8 yards. McCoy's trying to hold off Billy. Back it goes to Wilkins inside. On the far side is Nisbet, always willing to come forward on the right. Started his career as a centre forward, so certainly no stranger to these attacking positions, and well tackled by Andy Walker. That throw has to be taken a few yards further back by Derek Ferguson. Ian Ferguson. He's away from White, but over-carrying the ball slightly. So Ian Ferguson learning early on all about Old Firm football.
I see also now, Jock, that Mark Walters is now operating the right and Ian Durant on the left. There's so many changes with his chess. But nonetheless, at the end of the day, the urgency and the commitment of the players is the most important factor here just now. Good
lead by Gough to beat Billy Stark in the air. Burns penalised for tackling high. Ian Ferguson linking with Derek Ferguson on the right. Aiken to the cross, using that tremendous pace. And Derek Ferguson is forced to concede the goal kick to Celtic. The pace of Aiken, Alex, something which is not often commented upon, but obviously a very important aspect of his game.
Absolutely, he's marvellous pace, Big Roy. And it's also, he senses things. You know, that good defenders sense danger. And Roy's like that. And he sensed the threat there, and he was across quickly to snub it.
Goff commanding in the air against McAvenny. Challenged by Bartram. There's Durant nodding it on towards Derek Ferguson. Billy Stark is in quickly with the tackle. Joe Miller couldn't reach it in time, so that's a throw. Well, it's been given to Celtic. That's a surprise. It certainly appeared to be a Rangers throw. Here's Andy Walker laying it inside for Miller. Shrugged aside there by Wilkins. Good play though by Tommy Barnes for Celtic. Here's Paul McStay. It's a great effort from McStay. Brilliantly saved by Chris Woods. Just at a point where we thought that Paul McStay had a quiet spell in the match, he burst to life. Now just look at the power in this shot. As the pass comes forward from Tommy Barnes, McStay with one thought in mind, and that was splendid goalkeeping by Woods.
Yes, we've seen Paul do that once or twice, haven't we? Remember the goal he scored against Iceland at Hampden Park, similar to that.
Joe Miller's corner. Here's Billy Stark. That's a fine pass back to Miller, who's onside. Commitment from Durant, but Miller survives that challenge. Here's Ali McCoist in his own box. And that'll be a corner kick again to Celtic. Ali McCoist going back to help in defence, leaving only Mark Walters upfield.
I'm sure young Ian Durant got a shout from Chris Woods there, but in this noise, how could you hear?
There's Miller's corner kick, up goes Bailey! And no one at this near post. McAvenny was caught underneath the ball. Bailey is in the 6-yard box, just getting up now rather slowly. Took a knock as he fell. So Celtic a little bit light at the back with Bailey limping back upfield. There's Morris turning it back to Pat Bonner. And the man filling the gap in defence was Paul McStay. This is Barnes. McStay now coming to Lincoln midfield. Good play by Barnes. Tackled well though by Nisbet. Goff to Walters. Brought down by Derek White, and I fancy this may be the first booting of the match. Well, Derek White, I think, was caught out badly there by the pace of Mark Walters. Going across, committing himself as Walters was leaving him for dead, and that's a bad foul by the young Celtic defender.
Yeah, I think there's a booking justified there. They took him out of play when there's an advantage there, attacking on the Celtic goal. I don't think young Derek could have any complaints over that.
The White is booked, and Scott Nisbet is on the ground, the Rangers player, and he appears to need some treatment as Mark Walters has recovered. But Scott Nisbet was one of the players, I think, causing some concern before the match in the Rangers camp. He was taken off against Steaua Bucharest late in the match after playing very well indeed, and that was because he sustained an injury, and it may be that he has had a recurrence of that injury. I think that would be a bad blow for Rangers.
Yes, well, looking at the substitutes, they've got the young lad Monroe, who is of course a left-sided player, and they would have a problem operating someone operating in that position. But the boy's on his feet, he looks okay, we'll just see what happens.
So a defiant noise from the Rangers end and from the Celtic end. The match is underway again. That layoff from Ian Ferguson, too far ahead of Nisbet. So a throw on the far side to Celtic. Just 3 minutes remaining in the first half. Still no scoring in what has been a superb match so far.
Yeah, I like how the opposing fans celebrate a mistake, Jock, in this match. What other game would do that, eh?
Well, Tommy Barnes with a throw, headed by Goff. Barnes down to McStay, calmly back to Pat Bonner. by Bartram. Billy did well with Ian Ferguson. Bartram was fouled there by McAvenny. That's a free kick, all right. But the Celtic players putting Jan Bartram under enormous pressure. The young fullback seemed to be a little bit uncertain in the early stages of the match, and Celtic, of course, trying to exploit that.
As we approach half-time, Jock, I've got to say that it's 45 minutes, the spirit of the game's been marvellous. There's no bitterness in the match, competitive certainly, one or two little incidents, but a marvellous spirit to the game.
Well, there's Roy Aitken on the end of a trip. Celtic have a free kick. Yes, no nastiness evident. Some tough tackling, but no real problems yet for referee Bob Valentine, who I think it should be said has had a splendid match so far.
Excellent. It's a difficult game for him because I think what has impressed me about Bob is he's understood the frustrations that can build up in a match like this. There's been a bit of dissent, but he's got the experience to handle that, and in the main he's controlled the game absolutely brilliantly.
We're in the final minute now of the first half. Andy Walker penalised for a little bit of jostling with Scott Nisbet. Ian Ferguson made a good run. He's in behind the Celtic defence. Here's Ferguson now with a cross. Too long and deep. Durant tries to retrieve it. The player getting back is Joe Miller. Wilkins trying to get it back for Rangers. With Durant to Wilkins, a chance for the cross. Pat Bonner coming to claim the ball comfortably on the 6-yard line. The counter-attack set up immediately through Tommy Barnes. Will Stark. He did well to turn that inside towards Barnes. This is McAvenny. Andy Walker coming in from the left. Barnes, McStay, and Joe Miller stepped back to try to make sure he remained onside. That meant he couldn't reach the pass.
I thought actually Joe Miller did very well there. It's always very easy to criticise a player in that situation, but he was offside and he tried to get on.
So it's Chris Woods with a goal kick. We're into time added on for stoppages at the end of the first half with a couple of injuries. Chris Morris looking for Joe Miller. But there goes the half-time whistle. A tremendous 45 minutes football. No scoring, and Paul McStay, the player who has come closest with one tremendous effort for Celtic. Towards half-time, taking the ball from Tommy Barnes, setting it up there from midfield. There was McStay turning. Now this is the best attacking action of the first half. A tremendous effort, brilliantly saved by Chris Woods. So the half-time score here at Ibrox. Rangers 0, Celtic 0. Join the panel in the studio right after this break.
Welcome back. A typical first half of an Old Firm game, I would have thought, Sandy Clark.
Very much so, yeah. It's a tremendous commitment by everybody, and the pace is incredible. You know, I don't know if they can manage to keep it up for the next 45 minutes, but it's very, very even. There's not much between the teams.
Well, you were making the point during the first half that you wanted somebody to stand on the ball and slow it down a wee bit.
Yeah, it seems to be going very much of the way Old Firm games do go, with nobody really trying to slow the game down in midfield.
Right, well, let's have a look at some of the action. After a very brisk Celtic start, in fact, it was Rangers, Sandy, that made the first chance here, which was a mistake by Derek White.
Actually, I think we just got the end of it there. Derek Ferguson did well. You know, he wins the ball and goes forward, and he looked up and made a great pass to, you see here, he's coming into the box now, and he looks up and makes a great pass to Matt Waters. And unfortunately, just off target with. I think it was Chris Morris that made the tackle there and made it very difficult for him.
Right, Willie, here's the next chance.
Yeah, the ball's bobbling about a wee bit here, and it is a chance, half chance, but the ball was bobbling about, and I would put that down to a half chance, really.
Well, we can have another look at it from behind the goal.
Yeah, a good run here by Walters. The shot was a bit wild, and McCoy's didn't really have a chance of putting that one in, I didn't think.
Good, so Celtic's first chance came, as we'll see, I hope, on the replay, from a Chris Morris free kick and a Frank McAvenny header.
Actually, I think the Rangers defence are obviously trying to watch people like Bailey and Roy Aitken. you know, and Frank's come in there and timed his run really well, and it's a wee bit unfortunate. You know, it's almost there.
They haven't handled the cross balls too well, Rangers. I've been a wee bit disappointed in that.
In all the hurly-burly, Willie, has there anybody been standing out in your mind that might have stamped his authority on the match? McStay's done well from time to time, hasn't he?
Yeah, Paul McStay's done very well. Wilkins hasn't really got into it, but young Derek Ferguson's had a great game for Rangers, especially in the first 25 minutes.
Right, well, we now have Ian Ferguson, Sandy, missing probably the best chance of the first half, because of all the other ones, like you said, most of them are half chances, but this is a clear chance.
You know, his first touch is brilliant there, he does really well, but I think you know, he's maybe struggling a wee bit with the atmosphere and the pressure that's on him in this game. But, you know, I think Alec Ferguson said at the time, you've got to hit the target, and he snatched at it a little bit and, you know, went by the post. It's a great chance, though.
OK, Fergie seems to be enjoying himself out there back in Scottish football. Willie, let's have a look at the Paul McStay shot, which brought the first half really to an end.
Well, Paul does this very well, picking the ball up and running at defences, and having a shot from that range. He's always liable to stick it in the top corner. But it was a first-class save from Woods as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, as we say, nothing really to choose between both of the teams.
No, very tight. I think if it's going to be one, it's going to be one down the wings, especially the right wings.
Yeah. Right. Thanks, Stance. We'll see you at the finish. Arthur.
Right, teams are still off the field at Ibrox. It's time for us to take a quick break. Rejoin us for the whole of the second half live of this afternoon's game at Ibrox between Rangers and Celtic in a couple of minutes from now. Welcome back to Scott Sport Old Firm Special. Half-time score at Ibrox this afternoon. Rangers 0, Celtic 0. Everything to play for as the teams come out for the start of the second half. And we rejoin our commentary team of Jock Brown and Alec Ferguson.
Thank you, Arthur. The Rangers team is already out on the field. They've been out for a moment or two, waiting for the Celtic players to arrive. And Alec Ferguson sitting beside me. Alec, what would you have been saying to these teams at half-time?
Well, I think both managers will obviously make some valid points, but sometimes half-time does a lot of the talking itself. And what I'm saying is, it can take away the anxiety that we maybe saw in the first half. It can bring them some composure to them, settle them down. Once they've got a cup of tea, they can be more relaxed in the second half. And I feel, and I've got to go against Willie Miller here, and I would quite put a bet on it. There's bound to be goals here. And I say that because I think with someone like Billy Stark, who's not had a chance yet, will not go through a match without getting a chance. And I just feel that the way the both teams are playing, there are bound to be goals.
So a fairly lengthy wait for Rangers, and the referee Bob Valentine reappears. So 0-0 at half-time. A crucial 45-minute period coming up, particularly from the Rangers' point of view. They really must be thinking in terms only of victory. Whereas Celtic may well be perfectly happy to leave with a draw. So the second half about to get underway once referee Valentine is satisfied with the time check. So the second half is underway. No substitutes brought on at half-time, so both teams finishing the first half and starting the second half with the same players. But Paul McStay's taking a very early knock as Roberts plays it forward. Ian Ferguson starting off in an attacking role in the second half. Opened up the match on the right side of midfield and then was switched to the attack with Ian Durrant moving back. So Paul McStay taking a bit of time to recover from that knock he took inside the centre circle. Roberts and McAvenny together. Here's Chris Morris. Bartram did well to intercept, and that's a Rangers throw. Chris Morris pushing forward as he likes to do. Jan Bartram will be very anxious to have a good start to the second half. He looked a little bit uncertain in the first half in this incredible atmosphere. Yes, Ferguson, Ian Ferguson this is. Running inside likes Billy. Walters on the right, supporting player is Scott Nisbet. Here's Walters making for the byline. Well, a major disappointment that for Rangers. Walters now switched to the right wing. He did that after about half an hour of the first half, but not so accurate with the right foot cross.
No, I think that the boys should have done better there. As you made the point, it's more important for Rangers to this game. And I think they'll be looking for Mark Walters to do better than that.
Wilkins doing well in the air. There's Durant on the left side of the Rangers midfield now. Turned back by Bartram to Woods. And it looks as though the pace has just dropped a little from the tempo in the first half. There's McStay trying to find Billy Stark. It's picked up though by Durant. Ferguson is onside. Aiken goes across. That's well struck by Ian Ferguson, but Bonner's positioning was good. Well, a bit of anxiety here for Celtic with the amount of space Ian Ferguson had. He hit that very well with the left foot, but Bonner went down quickly.
Well, he did exactly what he should have done the first half. Hit the target, and if you do that, you can always score.
Corner kick, swung in by Durant. Up goes Bonner. Excellent goalkeeping under pressure. Gough and Ian Ferguson going up with the keeper. Now this really is excellent handling by Pat Bonner. Very difficult indeed under these circumstances to take that cleanly, keep his eye on the ball and retain possession. Foul's been given for the challenge on him.
Well, I think, Jock, that Rangers have started with a lot more purpose this half. They realise importance, and it may bring its dividend.
There's good play from Roberts, going past Morris. Bailey doing well in the air. There's Stark, robbed by Ian Ferguson. The supporting player is Derek Ferguson. Walters is on the right. Aiken goes across. This time the left-footed cross, a better one. Headed on by Durant. There's Ian Ferguson. It's turned away by Bailey. And a fine effort from Ray Wilkins. Well, the closest yet to the opening goal. After some purposeful Rangers attacking with this bit of head play inside the box. A fine challenge by Bailey. It came to Wilkins. Bonner clearly thought that was going over at the top of the bar, and he had to be quick in the recovery.
Well, Paddy knew he made a hash of that one, you know. He should have really played that well over the bar. He'll be glad that hit it. Not going in.
Too much of a hand to the ball, perhaps, but Celtic breathe again. Here's McCoy's trying to turn Aiken. Back with Ferguson. Headed by Bailey. It's turned away by White. The referee has given a free kick to Celtic. A dangerous play. Durant challenging Bailey. Well, likes Bailey, the big fellow, certainly stretched himself for a diving header clear. Well, it's perhaps a little bit hard on the attacking player.
Well, the advantage always goes to the defender, Jock, and I've always said it's unfair at times, but they get the advantage, and that was another instance.
So a lot of encouragement for the Rangers fans for the start of the second half. Morris doing well. Here's Wilkins. Roberts trying to release Ian Ferguson. Bailey first to the ball that time. Here's Ferguson again. Tackled by Bailey. Durant nodded in towards McCoist. McCoist trying to turn. Aiken doing well for Celtic. There's Walters. Oh, great control from Mark Walters. Well, I think that was an attempted chip shot. Didn't get enough power into it. But it's Rangers on the ascendancy at the moment, with Morris trying to change that on the break. Here's Paul McStay. Under pressure from Wilkins and Derek Ferguson. It's Rangers have possession again with Richard Gough. Ian Ferguson was offside. Flag is up on the near side. It looked to me as though Ferguson may well have been in line, which makes him offside.
Yeah, marginal offside. This is one of these other cases when a defender gets the advantage. If you're in line with the player, with the forwards in line with the defender, he's offside, which is, to me, is a ridiculous situation.
So here's Paul McStay. Bailey doing well to win it from Durant. Now Morris is away from Wilkins. Going inside Bartram. That's a good tackle by the Danish fullback. And here's Ian Ferguson. It's 2 against 2. Ian Ferguson and McCoist against Aiken and White. And White timed that tackle well on Ferguson. Stark and Burns trying to calm things down. 2 of the 30-plus men in terms of years of age in the Celtic ranks. And McAvenny turns it out for the throw to Rangers. Good running by Wilkins. He's away from Burns. And that's well taken by Bonner on the bounce. Not at all easy for the keeper with McCoy closing in. Wilkins did well though with that forward run on the right.
I must say that young lad Ian Ferguson has started the second half at a whirlwind. He's made a magnificent contribution. And he has been the main difference. He is now threatening the Celtic defenders all the time.
It was handball against McAvenny going for the high ball, so a free kick with Bailey going up in front of Ferguson. Derek White getting there just ahead of Derek Ferguson. Couldn't reach it in time though, so that's a throw to Rangers. And most of the noise you're hearing now from the crowd is coming from the Rangers end. Here's McCoy with Aiken. It came off Roy Aiken. I think he tried to kid the linesman on a little bit with that claim for the goal kick. There's Walters now with the in-swinger for Rangers. Roberts and Goff are in the box. Bonner gets it away. Here's Derek Ferguson under pressure from Walker. Now it's Billy Stark and Walker with McAvenny. Good break on now for Celtic. They're overloading on the left and the offside flag is up. Stark and Miller were free on the left, and that must have been a very tight decision indeed.
Well, I thought he was onside, I must say that, and it must have been really tight. But my eye was taken off with a tussle in the middle of the park job between Graham Roberts and Andy Walker.
There's Graham Roberts. The spirit of the game so far really has been excellent for an Old Firm match. Let's hope it stays that way. Referee Valentine was certainly very quick to get to the heart of that bit of action. Here's Paul McStay and Graham Roberts with the clearance. Here's Wilkins. The back heeler misses out Derek Ferguson. It's picked up by Paul McStay. That's for Chris Morris, and good running by Durant. That was excellent defending by Durant, although he'll be disappointed to have conceded that corner kick.
Well, Celtic have got back a bit of their thrust these couple of moments, but here we are. Aye, the boys around did very well there to get back. But they've got their thrust back, Celtic, and we've got a game on our hands already.
So the corner kick taken by Joe Miller, headed away by Roberts to Paul McStay. Superb pass from McStay. A high tackle that from Wilkins on Miller. The ball was certainly in the air, but Wilkins raised his boots, and that usually means a free kick taken quickly. Paul McStay on his left foot. Well, not quite so deadly or accurate with that left foot as he is with the right. But it was quickly taken, this free kick by Celtic. McStay stepping onto his left foot and willing to have a shot at goal, all right, but no problem for Chris Woods.
I must say, Joel, that the switch of play ball that Paul McStay played to Joe Miller just 3 minutes earlier was absolutely a gem. That's what we expect of young Paul. Marvellous bit of play.
It's off Billy Stark, a long ball for McCoy to chase. Bonner will let that run for the goal kick, I'm sure, yes. McCoy was chasing in and certainly showing no signs of any problem from that knee operation he had just about 3 weeks ago. So a reminder of the scoreline, still no scoring, but that certainly does not mean it's been anything other than a superb match. Burns just touching that away from Walters. Stark in trouble on the ground. All a bit torrid for a moment, but the referee was very close to the play. Here's Paul McStay getting away from Wilkins and from Bartram. That's one for Joe Miller to chase, but good play by Roberts, reading it well. And a bit of anxiety there as McAvenny closed in, but it's Bailey lofting it forward again. Joe Miller backing into Bartram. Well, I don't think Joe Miller has any real complaint about that. Hadn't much hope of winning the high ball against the tall figure of Jan Bartram. Trying to even things up a little. There's Roberts with a free kick.
I wonder where you, Joe, learned that one, Jock, eh?
Dare I say it? We can't mention Pittodrie here, can we?
Listen, that was from Miller. That is his other Miller has taught him that one.
There's McAvenny with Goff. Handball indicated by the linesman, and the decision goes Rangers' way. It was McAvenny who was the offender. The referee reacting to the linesman's signal. Roberts with the free kick, looking for McCoy. Up goes Aiken. Stark into space, but the only player there is Bartram for Rangers. Now Derek Ferguson to Wilkins. White did well as Walters went in behind him. Here's Richard Goff. Hustled all the way by McAvenny, by Walker. And down goes McAvenny. Scott Nisbet will be in trouble. They appear to catch McAvenny as both players are running back. And there will be a booking for the young fullback, and let's see what this was all about. It was Goff who was put under intense pressure by both McAvenny and Walker. The ball then broke free, was played forward by Stark, and there was McAvenny, and he appeared to be held off there by Nisbet. So there will be a yellow card for the young fullback.
Well, his hand did seem to catch McAvenny in the face here, didn't it, Joe? I don't think you can complain about that.
So one booking apiece now. Scott Nisbet for Rangers, Derek White for Celtic. What has otherwise been a very fair match. So Celtic's free kick. McStay and Burns together. Burns trying to get away from Derek Ferguson. That's a foul, all right. McCoy thumping the ball against Burns and McStay a little chat off the ball about the effectiveness of that move. This time it's Joe Miller who picks it up. Referee waves play on. He thinks that Miller was guilty of overacting, and Joe Miller getting a little bit upset. He'll have to calm down a bit. Likes Bailey's header. Up goes McStay. Well judged by Nisbet. Bailey's in again. Stark and Bailey together as Wilkins who wins it. So it goes to Ian Ferguson. Good play by Ferguson. Taking on Morris towards the byline. Strong play by Ian Ferguson. He's supported now by Bartram. That's towards Walters. Headed away by White. There's Paul McStay. Handball by Wilkins, I think. Thumped over the top by Ian Ferguson, but it's Wilkins who's penalised. No, indeed it is not. It's Paul McStay who's been penalised for lifting his foot too high. Dangerous play by the Celtic midfield player. And this is a superb opening for Rangers. Well, Pat Bonner looking anxious as Celtic pull everyone back into the box.
I bet they wish they had David Cooper at this moment in time, Jock, eh? Just an ideal position for him.
Although I think he is giving an indirect free kick for dangerous play rather than a direct one. We'll see if the arm is raised before the kick is taken. The referee making certain the wall goes all the way back. Well, Celtic will be feeling very upset indeed if Rangers cash in from this free kick. And now the referee will take action against Frank McAvenny. McAvenny getting upset by the arrival of Goff at the edge of the wall. The referee Valentine taking action against the Celtic centre forward. Remember, he was ordered off in the match earlier in the season in October here at Ibrox between the two clubs. And now protesting to the referee. So referee Valentine perhaps taking additional time to calm things down. They've become just a trifle heated in the last moment or two.
I did notice, Jock, that Big Roy gave McAvenny a real roasting there. He maybe get some after the game too.
So now the free kick can be taken. The referee raising his arm. It's Walters who takes it. Well saved by Bonner, going to his right. He must have seen that come very late indeed. It was indirect. That's why it was prodded there by Wilkins to Walters. Now Bonner going to his right, saving well for Celtic. Now Joe Miller. Hustled out of it. It's Ferguson to Walters. Here's Mark Walters now as McStay tries to get back to make the tackle. So McStay was leaning on Walters. And the decision goes Rangers' way. Well, I thought that McStay was leaning on Walters, so Rangers have the free kick. So Richard Gough arrives at the edge of the box. Wilkins with the kick. Blocked by Paul McStay, but he wasn't 10 yards away, so that free kick will be taken again, I think. So here's Wilkins once again. Bonner going up for this. Well, that must be inspirational as far as the defenders are concerned. Pat Bonner has made a semblance of a mistake so far in the match.
Well, that was toughy for him, really, because Ray Wilkins hung it up there, and it's a goalkeeper's ball, that kind.
There's Ferguson's header, straight to Miller, trying to release Tommy Burns. And Nisbet appeared to impede Burns as he tried to play the ball, yes. The ball was not within playing distance when Nisbet kept Burns away, so the free kick's been given. And here's Joe Miller, he's away from Nisbet this time. A good chance for Celtic. Headed away by Gough, only as far as Morris. Morris turning away from Durant. Here's Andy Walker, but he's offside. So frustration for Andy Walker this time. But it's remarkable how quickly the game switches from one end to the other.
I see Celtic are making a substitution now, Jock. It'll be interesting to see who they're going to bring on. They're going to bring on Rogan, I believe, and maybe to replace Tommy Burnsey and play a complete five at the back, Jock.
Well, that might suggest that they're content to stay with an even scoreline. But let's see if that change is eventually made. Here's Wilkins towards Durant. Bailey goes in with a good pass. For Walker to chase. Roberts goes across. Fine tackle by Roberts. Timed it to perfection.
No, it's in fact Joe Miller is going to come off, Jock. Yeah, Joe Miller's come off, and they'll push Tommy Burns forward. Yeah, that may be. That may indicate that they're going to be happy with a point now, Jock. Which it's not unrealistic to think that way now, because Rangers have had more purpose in the second half, and they want to stem it a bit, Celtic now.
So Celtic in possession with Chris Morris. Rogan now at left back, Burns pushing forward. There's an error by Nisbet, having to retrieve his own mistake. And McAvenny trying to cause problems there for the Rangers defence. Nisbet getting a rollicking there from Graham Roberts. What an error this was. Quite clearly Chris Wood's ball. Why the misunderstanding arose, I don't know. McAvenny in quickly. Nisbet did well to recover. And then the ball was bouncing awkwardly. Woods did well for Rangers again. Well, let off for young Scott Nisbet. Ferguson trying to find Nisbet. It's stopped by Walker. Here's Rogan, a fresh pair of legs for Celtic. He may well take this for a run, but Gough is coming across. Still Rogan. Inside to Burns. Good tackle by Ferguson. Paul McStay picks up the loose ball. He sees Morris on the right. Well, the first time pass didn't come off for Chris Morris. He had a lot of space to utilise on the right.
You know, it would have been a tragedy, Jock, if that had been a goal for Celtic. Oh, in a sense, there's been so many good things about the game, and to be decided on an error from a young lad would have been a real tragedy. But I still believe there'll be goals.
So 20 minutes gone in the second half. Still no scoring. There's confirmation of the scoreline. 25 minutes left. And Rangers perhaps having the better of exchanges in the second half after a very even opening 45 minutes. But here's Tommy Burns now, finding space, coming forward, over-carrying the ball somewhat, but showing his determination, getting it wide to Morris. Well, that's good play from Morris. Here's Burns again. Morris trying to gather the ball on the run, but Bartram steps in for Rangers. Good play from Paul McStay. Two men waiting in the box. There's McStay looping it across to Rogan on the far side. It's back to Billy Stark. Appeals for handball against Goff. It's still not clear for Rangers. Yes, Paul McStay. Paul McStay with the opening goal. 21 minutes into the second half. The Celtic end goes wild. A superb strike by Paul McStay. It's only his 4th of the season, but it was McStay who won that ball on the right initially. Looked over the cross. Anton Rogan nodded it down. There was Billy Stark, some appeals for handball. As the ball was then scrambled out from the head of Graham Roberts. Then nodded down again by Morris. There was McStay, and Woods was helpless.
Yes, well, what a marvellous hit. Here it comes across to the way to the far post. Rogan goes up with Walters. Not back to Billy Stark. I don't think it was a penalty. Rangers couldn't get it cleared. And what a hit from Paul McStay. My goodness me. Oh, marvellous goal. But I'd just like to say that Tommy Burns, in this role he's playing now, has created a lot of problems for Rangers prior to the goal.
Well, bedlam now from the Broomloan Road stand. There's the scoreline as Paul McStay breaks the deadlock for Celtic. And the Premier League Championship is a step nearer, suddenly, for Celtic. After being under the cosh for substantial parts of the second half, now with that determined burst of attacking play and a deadly strike from McStay, they're in command. Here's Derek White. And I fancy now, I like that Billy McNeil will be very pleased he has introduced Anton Rogan to hold this lead.
Oh, well, you know, the manager can sometimes be judged in his substitutions, and you've got to say that it's been a marvellous one for Billy.
There's Ray Wilkins. McCoy sets off, but Aiken goes across. He seems to be tripped by McCoist. The linesman tells the referee that was a foul by McCoist. McCoist hasn't had the best of afternoons for Rangers, but these Celtic fans suddenly are enjoying the match to the full.
Well, I think obviously, John, that Alan McCoist coming back from an operation in his knee has still got some way to go before he gets his real sharpness.
There's Graham Roberts lashing the ball forward. Rogan plays the Rangers attack onside. There's Aiken. Burns got a touch. Here's Billy Stark trying to help it on towards Morris. Won though by Durant. Well, Paul McStay taking the game by the scruff of the neck suddenly. Now striding forward. Walker on his right. He may go all the way himself. Looking for a free kick as he goes down with Derek Ferguson's challenge, but the referee waves play on. And it looked in the end as though Paul McStay was trying to set up another shooting chance for himself. Here's Durant. In steps Aiken. To Benny, to Stark. On the far side is Morris. Andy Walker comes across. Morris again. Oh, this is great play now from Celtic. Handball, I think. No, the referee waves play on. Graham Roberts survives. The referee certainly couldn't have been closer to the action. This is Derek Ferguson. Now Wilkins. That's one for Nisbet to chase. Derek White goes across. What a fine tackle by White. And now Burns, who was so important in that move leading up to the Celtic goal. Since his move to a more attacking role. Goff did well there for Rangers. This is Nisbet. And Durant is onside. Roy Aiken goes across. Still Durant. We had McCoist and Ian Ferguson waiting in the middle. Well, this is good play. Nisbet to Durant. Turning Roy Aiken now, coming inside. He had help ahead, but he couldn't find either Ferguson or McCoist.
Jock, I've got to say this, that the Rangers midfield is now look decidedly tired. And this may result from the hard physical game they had on the Wednesday. Not so much even the physical side, but the emotional thing about it. And Celtic are really dominant now.
There's Derek Ferguson, who was so influential for Rangers in the first half in midfield. There's Roberts and Walker together. It breaks for Nisbet. McCoist is well offside.
But what exactly Rangers can do at this stage, I'm sure they'll use a substitution. That they may bring Graham Souness on, but they only can, if they bring on Monroe, he's only a defender, Jock, and they need to win the game. So they have a problem.
Well, again, perhaps the difficulty about being a little bit short in the striking department in their squad. One possible change would be Souness to try to reorganise the midfield and take off a tired pair of legs. There's Souness now warming up to come on. That seemed to be a push by Ian Ferguson, but the referee allows play to continue. Here's Derek Ferguson, and now Nisbet. Billy Stark challenging Wilkins. On the far side, Bartram's in space. Bartram trying to get into a crossing position, but it's back with Walters. He may cause problems now for Celtic. Here's Walters again. Good effort, but made look easy by Pat Bonner. Well, this is what the Rangers fans want to see more of from Mark Walters. Stepping inside for the shot at goal, but Bonner's positioning made that look easy.
Yeah, I would think that Graham Souness will come on and replace Ray Wilkins. Ray's given his all. I think the fresh pair of legs are needed now.
Durant now wandering into the right side of midfield, linking with Derek Ferguson and Nisbet, the youngsters on the Rangers side. Nisbet brought down by Walker. That was a clear foul by Walker. The Rangers anxious to get back on level terms as quickly as they can and set up a big finish. There's Richard Gough, who scored the equaliser the last time these sides met here at Ibrox. There's Derek Ferguson, headed away by Bailey to Bartram. There's the equaliser. Jan Bartram gets his second goal for Rangers, and with the equaliser, 1 goal apiece. Fine snapshot from the edge of the box. The ball played in by Derek Ferguson was won well by Bailey. There was Bartram on his weaker foot to right, driving that through a ruck of players, and Bonner couldn't reach it.
Well, Jock, that came out of the blue. No one expected a right-footed shot there, did they? Here's the free kick. Ferguson plays in. It's knocked away.
Oh, McAvenny setting up a
and
chance
Bartram
there.
is a marvellous shot. Unexpected, out of the blue, and Rangers are back in the game.
Well, what a finish we have in prospect now. 1 goal apiece, 16 minutes left for play. Here's Mark Walters. Still going inside, over towards Ferguson. He was offside anyway. Well, I think that any fatigue in the Rangers' legs, Alec, will surely now have departed. They won't be tired anymore.
No, well, that inspires, the goal inspires you. Celtic got the inspiration from their goal. But I still think they could do with Graham on the park. I still see signs of tiredness in Ray Wilkins, who's had a marvellous contribution in terms of the effort he's put in the match. And of course, a good pass of the ball too.
Well, there was the scoreline with 15 minutes left. It's Rangers 1, Celtic 1. The official attendance, incidentally, 43,650. And now it's the Rangers fans' turn to celebrate. Here's Tommy Burns getting it forward to Stark. Now Rogan. Good tackle by Nisbet. Well, I'm sure that Celtic wanted to settle on that lead a bit longer. The Rangers have hit back. Jan Bartram has only scored once before for Rangers in the first game. There's McCoy nodding it down to Durant. That's Bailey's clearance. Chris Wood's forced to go to escort that behind because Andy Walker gave chase.
Well, it does always if Rangers are going to use a substitute. Graham Souness is back in the dugout. And he's leaving it to the lads who have got back in the game. It's always difficult to come on as a substitute in football. The speed of the game and...
So Ian Ferguson running out of space. It's a throw to Celtic. There's Rogan. Headed on by Nisbet. Up goes Derek White. Now McStay. Here's Billy Stark. Chris Morris on the outside. Now Bartram is very quick indeed. He'll have to be to get back on Morris. And the throw goes to Rangers. Bartram showing his tremendous acceleration there, because Chris Morris himself is very quick indeed.
Well, he hasn't shown a lot of his forward play today, Jock, and you feel that maybe it's the whole occasion has been a big thing for him, and he'll be glad to get out of the road.
Here's Paul McStay again, the back heeler finds Stark. There's Bailey towards Bakaveni. Chris Morris tackled fiercely by Roberts. The Celtic throw. There's McAvenny. Appears to be held there by Bartram, and Morris getting a bit upset about that. Leaving his boot in. Bartram getting a bit irate. Chris Morris seemed to have slipped the Rangers fullback, but couldn't get his left leg free. Well, an eventful afternoon for Jan Bartram. A tough first half, but scoring the equaliser for Rangers. There's Morris with a free kick. Just missed by Stark and turned away by Ian Ferguson. Well, let's see how close Billy Stark was to this. It was whipped across by Chris Morris. Too high for Andy Walker. In came Stark. He missed it by quite a bit, but it came off Ian Ferguson. So Billy McNeill now anxious again, looking at his watch in the dugout.
I would have put my wife and Billy Stark connecting with that one, Joe. So used to have seen him doing that over the years.
McStay's corner kick. It came off a Rangers head. That'll be another corner to Celtic. Well, you certainly have the impression now that another goal would settle the match. With 12 minutes remaining, Rangers 1, Celtic 1. Celtic on the attack. There's Tommy Burns with the in-swinger. It's in! It's come off Andy Walker. The header was by Rogan, but Walker got the last touch. 11 minutes from time, Celtic go in front once again, and it came from the corner kick. Andy Walker's 26th of the season, and I don't think he knew very much about it. The Rangers defence caught napping, in came Rogan, the header was off target, it came off the chest of Andy Walker, and Celtic are back in the lead.
Well, Jock, sometimes luck plays a part in football, and here it comes, the cross. Rangers marking a bit dodgy there, I would say. Young Ian Ferguson got caught standing, and the header deflected off Andy Walker.
So there's the scoreline, 2-1 to Celtic. Into the last 10 minutes of the match. There's Walters, challenged by Paul McStay. Well, it really is ironic in the sense that Rogan's header was a clear opportunity, and one which he appeared to have missed, because the header was certainly going wide until it struck Andy Walker. Nisbet's long throw, up goes Aiken. There's Derek Ferguson with Paul McStay. That'll be a Celtic goal kick, and some respite for the Celtic defence. Well, you have to hand it to Celtic, Alec, to come back after going all square, to come back and take the lead again.
Well, right, they didn't sit on when it went to one each. They went and did something about the game. They went and won it. And I think at this stage now, I'd be very surprised if Rangers get back in now. They've had their lesson, Celtic, after losing the equaliser. I'm sure they'll tighten things up.
The referee Bob Valentine telling Pat Bonner to get a move on, considering that he may be wasting time. Here's Mark Walters. Ahead of him is Derek Ferguson, with White the escorting player. Well, that gives Scott Nisbet a chance to show his prowess with a long throw once again. Can Rangers come back? Well, this is almost as good as a corner kick, this throw from Nisbet. Pumped away by Morris. No one upfield for Celtic. Burns charges down that pass from Roberts. And you'll see it was Paul McStay who got to Jan Bartram to close him down and force that error. It's a superb performance from Paul McStay in midfield for Celtic.
Yes, I thought young Derek Ferguson took the honours in the first half, but the game has gone on now, and Paul McStay's get better and better, and of course his goal has capped a magnificent performance all round.
The header forward by Paul McStay, and Celtic now obviously content to sit on this lead. They'll be taking no chances at all, I'm sure, in the closing minutes. There's McAvenny, careless one from Durant. Good play from Bartram. There's Ian Ferguson holding off Aiken, and Roy Aiken penalised for a late challenge on Ian Ferguson, which did Ferguson no good at all. Took a knock in the ankle. He's clearly furious about that, but Rangers have the free kick, which Roberts is in a hurry to take. Up goes Rogan, commanding the edge of the box. Now Nisbet. Lex Bailey stands off to let that run for the throw. Ian Durant picks up that throw from Rogan. Here's Nisbet. The referee indicating that with a dive by Nisbet. So it's a throw to Celtic. The header by Richard Goff. There's Rogan. Now McAvenny. Challenged by Roberts. There's Roberts again. Under pressure from McAvenny. There's Billy Stark going through the middle, and good play by Jan Bartram, settling much better in the second half. Encouraged obviously by his equalising goal, but saddened to see Andy Walker put Celtic back in front. 7 minutes left. Here's Durant, robbed by McStay, who appears to be everywhere now for Celtic.
You just said it, Jock, he's everywhere.
That's back from Ian Ferguson to Derek Ferguson, but it's Paul McStay again. The pass picks out Andy Walker. Turned out by Roberts, and that's a throw to Celtic. Graham Roberts thinks he was fouled by Walker. Explaining that to the linesman. Graham Soon is still not going on the field himself, looking very anxious indeed. There's Durant lofting it forward. Up goes Derek White. Now Derek Ferguson to Ian Ferguson. He's had a much better second half, Ian Ferguson. Going a long way towards justifying the faith shown in him by the Rangers management. Nisbet back to Derek Ferguson. Well, you can assure Rangers will play to the very last second. Pat Bonner's committed. That's good goalkeeping once again.
Yes, big Pat Bonner did brilliantly there. Really positive and decisive. A lot of conviction in coming out for that. And he's helped the young boy Ian Ferguson the bargain.
2-1 to Celtic, 5 minutes left. Well, Andy Walker jumping all by himself, well away from the ball. So Ian Ferguson clutching his left shoulder for Rangers. Wonder how much longer he may stay on the field. He was challenging Pat Bonner for that high ball, which Bonner won just a moment ago. It's back with Roberts. And now Bartram. Here's Ray Wilkins. Oh, good play by Durant. He has Derek Ferguson available on the right. McAvenny coming back. Here's Nisbet. Fine deep cross. Chris Morris can't reach it. There's Ian Ferguson rather. Now Derek Ferguson. So appeals for a penalty kick waved aside, but Durant caused the problems. Played wide there to Scott Nisbet by Derek Ferguson. The long deep cross missed by Morris. Played against him and then back towards Derek Ferguson. It's a goal kick to Celtic.
Yeah, a lot of frustrated faces now, Rangers, and you've got to feel a bit sorry for them because there was an important game on Wednesday, the quarter-final European Cup. And Dundee, they could go 8 points behind Celtic in the league, and that's a lot of leeway Celtic have.
There's Likes Bailey with a header into midfield. It's collected by Paul McStay. McStay not using McAvenny, who was offside, finding Tommy Barnes. And on the far side is Chris Morris. It's a tremendous finish to the match from Celtic. That's a good tackle though by Bartram. So Bailey goes to meet the ball. Well, complete commitment from Bailey. He did well for Celtic to keep the pressure on the Rangers defence. Here's McAvenny running into Wilkins. It's back towards Morris. He's away from Bartram. Another good chance. There's McAvenny. And what a save from Chris Woods. Superb play again on the right from Celtic. The pace of Chris Morris, laying it into the path of McAvenny for the snapshot. That's brilliantly turned away by Woods.
A magnificent save from Chris Woods there. That would have been it, finished completely, Jock, I think.
Well, just 3 minutes remaining. Rangers looking for 2 goals in all realistic terms, because they must be thinking about a victory only today, and now facing defeat, the Celtic can cling to their 2-1 lead. Here's Andy Walker, led forward by Rogan. Ferguson hooking it forward, but it's gone for a throw to Celtic. There's Andy Walker switching play to the far side to Morris. Got Akers to operate in over there if he can control it quickly enough. Now going at Bartram, can he make the byline? Choosing to go inside, it's blocked by Goff. It's Morris again, now Paul McStay. Oh, that's good play again from McStay. Now Barnes. Celtic thinking about possession now as McStay finds Rogan. Challenge came from Nisbet.
Yeah, it was a marvellous piece of composure from Paul McStay actually. He just put his foot in the ball, said, oh, I'm going to keep this and I'll control the game now. And he did very well.
Here's Tommy Barnes, tackled well by Nisbet. Mark Walters at the corner flag, and that'll suit Celtic all right. They want to get the ball out of their Rangers. They have succeeded in getting the goal kick. Paul McStay, the dominant force in the second half for Celtic.
Well, it's been a great game, Joe, but it's been not one side has dominated for any long periods in the game. And that gives you a measure of the type of match it is. And there was at no stage in the game could you say that anyone could say which team was going to win, and that's a great mystery of the Old Firm and excitement of it.
Well, certainly a credit to the Scottish game, the pace and the quality, doing great justice to Premier League football. There's Rogan, caught there by Walters, and the referee has given Celtic the free kick. We're into the final minute of the match. Celtic leading by 2-1. Referee Bob Valentine telling Roy Aitken to get on with it, but it looks to be beyond Rangers now. And now going into time added on for stoppages in the second half. Aitken pumps it forward, a sea of green and white behind Chris Woods. There's Nisbet. The layoff came from McCoy's to Walters. Good play again from Bailey, but no, he's been penalised for climbing on Ian Ferguson. So the Celtic defence funnels back again to face what may well be the last attack of the match from Rangers. Derek Ferguson thumps the ball in towards Richard Goff. Up goes Bailey. And there's Chris Morris. No qualms about the long clearance. Bartram being forced to hurry by McAvenny. And there goes the final whistle. Celtic are the winners by 2-1, and it looks as though they've taken a major step towards winning the league championship. The Celtic fans are overjoyed. It was a tremendous second half. Paul McStay giving Celtic a lead in 66 minutes. Then John Bartram equalised before Andy Walker knocked home the winner 11 minutes from the end. The Celtic are winners of a tremendous match. Alec Ferguson.
Yeah, a marvellous game. A credit to the game, a credit to their own clubs. And as I said, no one dominated, but the longer the game went, Paul McStay eventually controlled it. And there, with his goal, a marvellous contribution. He fought in the first half, out with Derek Ferguson for the supremacy in the middle of the park. Then the day came through, and I make him the man of the match and the most influential Celtic player.
So there's the final scoreline now. Celtic fans behind the goal to our left, celebrating in style. But the final score, Rangers 1, Celtic 2. Don't go away, we'll be right back with our studio guests in a couple of minutes.
And welcome back for the last time this afternoon to Scott Sport Old Firm Special. The final score at Ibrox, you've just seen the game and I'm sure you've enjoyed the action, was Rangers 1, Celtic 2. And that means that Celtic, if not perhaps guaranteed the championship, must feel in their hearts that they've taken a vital, decisive step towards it. 6 points clear, a game in hand, 8 games to play, and for the others, well, it looks a very daunting task indeed. Ian.
Thank you, Arthur. Gentlemen, you're chasing Hearts and Aberdeen. Sandy first, do you concede that it's Celtic's title now?
Well, obviously they look as if they're almost there, but you don't ever give in until it's mathematically impossible. But obviously they're in a tremendous position now.
Right, well, let's have a look back at some of the best of the action. Willie, I'd like you to talk us through this because it was a defensive nightmare, this one, the incident with Woods and Nisbet.
Yeah, well, I think the young lad said afterwards that he couldn't hear Chris Wood shout, but when you're in the box, I mean, there's no way you should be taking it down in your chest. I think it's always better just to put it out of danger's way.
Well, of course, that then led to Celtic taking the lead in a game that really could have gone either way, but a marvellous strike by Paul McStay. You've played a lot with him. You've seen him do this sort of thing before.
Yeah, well, Paul put the cross in, and the way Rangers defended the cross balls all day was suspect, and that's where it came from. He followed it back in. What a tremendous strike. A great goal.
I actually thought first time the ball just drifted by, but in fact, as we'll see on the replay, it hit the stanchion. Those sometimes can go anywhere, but when you've got a player of his class, then he means it, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he puts the initial cross in, and then he follows the ball in and ends up getting on the end of it again to stick it away.
And in an age when sort of shooting is a lost art sometimes from the edge of the box and outside it, it's a marvellous goal.
Oh, it's great. Fantastic finish.
Right, Sandy, the equaliser coming up now, and this was Jan Bartram's. Another great shot.
It's a great shot. It's going through a lot of players and it's right in the corner, so I don't think Pat Bonner had much chance of saving it. But I think the guy pulled himself out of the hole a little bit. You know, he was under pressure right through the game, and that certainly made his day a bit better for him. It's a great strike. Hit it, man.
Really, it was always probably going to be a Rangers defender that was going to score because we weren't seeing a lot from their front players today, were we?
That's right. I think you've got to give credit to, you know, everybody talks about how good Paul McStay was and Derek Ferguson, but you know, Alex Bailey's come in there, a relatively inexperienced lad, and he hasn't given Alan McCoist the kick of the ball. You know, and that in itself sums up how good a game he's had.
Right, Willie, here's the winner.
Yeah, another cross ball again. Rogan had the chance to finish it himself. It was actually a bad header from him, but he had a clear header at goal, and it hit Andy Walker in the chest. He didn't know much about it, and it flew in.
Chris Woods had an exceptional game in terms of saving shots, but is there any blame attached to the goalkeeper on going across him?
I wouldn't think so. I prefer to defend crosses as far out as that, beyond the 6-yard line, but he manages to sneak in there, and there's nobody picking him up at all, and he just didn't catch it right. But fortunately, Walker was there and it came off his chest.
Listening to Alex Ferguson there, obviously enjoyed himself. I mean, there's marvellous sort of passion and commitment. That was a typical Premier League game, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's plenty of passion, plenty of commitment, end-to-end stuff. It's what the punters want.
Sandy, you enjoy it?
Great game. The second half, the first half, we were saying at half time, it was a reasonable game then, but the second half, the goals obviously brought it to light a little bit. And Rangers, you know, the first 15 minutes, Rangers looked as if they were going to do it. But, you know, they didn't score. You know, a wee bit unlucky, maybe the one that Pat Bonner touches and it hits the top of the bar. If that goes in, it's a different game.
Good, well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Willie's going off to Malta. Thanks for being with us this afternoon.
Pleasure.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, gentlemen. But before we go, an invitation to join us at Murrayfield Ice Rink in Edinburgh next Sunday, where in addition to Premier League football, we'll have the Scottish Ice Hockey Cup final between those two great rivals, Murrayfield Racers and Fife Flyers. We'll also meet tonight at Murrayfield in a vital League Championship match, face-off 6:30. To take us out today, one more look at some of the action from this afternoon's game at Ibrox. From myself, our reporters and our guests, thanks for being with us. We look forward to the pleasure of your company next Sunday.